We wanted to get a different perspective on the fight over the U.S. Agency for International Development, or USAID, a program that dispenses billions in foreign aid. On Monday, Elon Musk said President Trump agreed with him that it needed to be shut down. Earlier, I spoke with Bill Gates, the Microsoft founder, whose Gates Foundation is one of the largest charitable organizations in the world. We discussed Elon Musk and the funding fight. The interview is part of a book tour he's doing for a memoir of his early years, Source Code: My Beginnings. Well, let's start with Elon Musk. He's called USAID a criminal organization. He called it evil. He talked about it's a radical left political psyop. To you, what is the importance of USAID and the U.S. giving aid to people in need around the world?
Well, the USAID plays a super important role in dispensing our aid budget, which is less than 1% of the government budget. Usually it's pretty obscure, so maybe this is a chance to talk about, okay, is some of that work we'd like to change, but overall, it's work that saves millions of lives and, helps strengthen relationships for the United States.
If it's just moved into the State Department, does that matter?
No, the exact organization can change. It was kept separate, so the idea of helping the poorest, you'd have a real priority for that in mind. And I'm not against some degree of tuning, but having all those people not come into work and characterizing the whole thing in a negative way, I'm a little disappointed in that.
Let me ask you about PEPFAR as well, because this is a program which George W. Bush started. It has saved more than 20 million people's lives around the world since then. Is it done now? I mean, is it paused?
There were 48 hours where drug disbursement was shut down, and then that was reversed. And now the challenge is that the employees who manage that work aren't being let into the office, and so we're a bit up in the air. When I saw President Trump just after Christmas, these HIV programs and the value they bring, and the fact that I also support these programs, so spend a lot of time to make sure that money's very well spent. That was a strong message that I gave him, and I'm hopeful that he'll see both the moral and strategic value to keep this strong.
You think there's a strategic value to it as well?
Absolutely. If you go around Africa and you ask, who really helped them out, who helped them deal with the HIV crisis, and has maintained that commitment, they're uniquely thankful to the United States.
If PEPFAR stopped, what would happen?
You'd have up to 10 million deaths if it was stopped abruptly. I thought the argument would be about, could we cut it by 10% over the next several years? And look, there's a lot of demands on the budget.
You were in another interview recently. I think you characterized some of the stuff Elon Musk has been saying about the right-wing government in Germany as insane.
Just the idea of him supporting particular, very right-wing parties, I'm surprised by that. I'm very careful to say Elon's super smart. His private sector work is fantastic. I'm surprised the number of things he states opinions on. I've always had friends around me who make sure I don't spout off on too many things all at the same time.
Do you think his role in this government makes sense?
The basic idea that we should review almost every department, and that if you were really smart about using technology or updating the goals, you could save 10% here, 10% there, which adds up to a lot. I don't think that's a mistake. But going in very quickly and saying that all these people run a criminal organization, that's not quite as subtle as you'd hope to see.
The tech community has often talked about, disruption, about, moving fast, breaking things. Do you think that works in the federal government?
Well, we count on the federal government for the safety net, and we're not supposed to have agencies go bankrupt. In the private sector, it's great that companies disappear and other companies take their place. But when you're counting on a department to, say, enforce safety rules, to review drug safety, things like that, you can't take as many risks as you do in the private sector.
What should somebody in high school now be studying or thinking about in terms of the future?
Well, in my day, it was easy to envy the kids who were naturally sociable and, great football players or those things. And people even say the revenge of the nerds that, those of us with down in the computer room, we sort of
Have you watched that movie?
did well. Yeah, absolutely. And
were you a consultant on that movie?
just by my life, that's all.
Okay.
So it's nice now that you can see different learning styles or approaches can be rewarded if you're, able to discipline yourself and, focus on the right things. It can become a superpower.